kids. My name's Billy Bob. Just got done riding. Oh, nothing better than getting on my Harley, having the wind whip through my hair here, and enjoying the sights and sounds of Minnesota. Now, I'm going to pass things over to my good friend, Mr. Lofgren. He's going to go through your studies weekly for the week, or for the day, for the weekday. Can't remember what it is, but you listen to him. He's a good dude, and I'm going to go back riding my Harley.
Good old Billy Bob. He is one wild and crazy dude. I wish he would just be normal like I am. Welcome to Monday, March 30th, 2020. This is a big day for many, many reasons. First, I'm going to just take a little selfish moment and tell you why it's important in my life. It's my son, Carter. He is my middle child. He is in eighth grade. He's in second grade. He is turning 8 years old today. So big deal in our house, and it's unfortunate with all the quarantine stuff going on that he can't have a big birthday party yet, but hey, at least we can still celebrate it in our home. So I just want to give a shout out to my son Carter. Happy birthday, buddy, and I love you very much. For everybody in the state of Minnesota, teachers, principals, paras, bus drivers, students, this is the official first day of distance learning in the state of Minnesota. Big deal. This has not happened of any kind in the history of our state. So this is big time history that you are a part of. And I think we've gotten off to a really good start over the course of the last week and a half. We've gotten smarter. You have been, obviously, all the work you're doing, the books you're reading, you're doing math, you're doing science, but we're also just getting smarter. What I mean by getting smarter is we're getting smarter in terms of how to deal with the situation. We're staying at home. We are staying away from people. I know that's really hard to do. It's really hard to do, but it's the best thing to do to make sure that we get the situation under control, and hope and pray that we will be back here in school by the beginning of May. That would be a perfect situation. So, yeah, a lot has changed. So, but today is day number 1 of distance learning. You should have gotten your big envelope with all of the materials that you need last Friday. Remember, you should have 4 envelopes inside of that big one. You should have 1 envelope for each of the next 3 weeks with all of your learning materials, and then the other envelope with the fun stuff, as it says, all of those extra things that you will need for various lessons or games. So we should all be ready to go. If for some reason you don't have everything you need, your parents can contact me at any time through email. And I will do the very best that I can to get back to them either in another email or a phone call. Speaking of emails, thanks to those that were able to get their Gmail accounts and their Google accounts fired up last weekend after I sent that last video out. It was just fun. Just a few people I got to connect with. Kendra sent me a nice email. Parker did as well. Just looking at my phone here, Grace did. Jackson Menke was the very first one. So, but yeah, lots of other people chimed in and sent me emails. I really appreciate that. And there's going to be other things that we can do with this Google account that are going to be tons and tons of fun. I can't wait to do some of the cool things. So, moving forward with distance learning, the first thing I wanted to talk about today is this, okay? So you've been doing some studies weeklies at home. Now it's for real. So I'm going to break this down piece by piece, tell you and highlight some of the articles that are in it, and then tell you what is expected of you in terms of what I'm taking a grade on. Okay, so at this time, just make sure you get your studies weekly, and I would have it in front of you while I go through the magazine article, okay? So this Studies Weekly kind of continues off of the week 3 one that we did last week. We'll be talking about matter. And as you learned, matter is what makes up all of the stuff around us. So it comes basically in 3 different forms: solids, like a piece of wood or a tennis shoe; those are solids. A liquid, like orange juice or water; those are all liquids. And then gas, like the oxygen we breathe in, that is a gas. So you're going to kind of just take another step up from what you learned last week and really dive into it this week. And there are some fun and easy experiments that you can do to explore solids, liquids, and gases even further. Let's take a look. Okay, so you open up to page 2 of your magazine and you see this wonderful diagram of solids, liquids, and gases. And in particular, it talks about water. Okay, you see the refrigerator, freezer there in the corner. You know, we have those in our homes to keep our foods cool or frozen, depending on what it is. And then we think about things in our home to warm liquids or warm up items. You think of your stove, you think of your microwave, you think when you take a shower, where does that hot water come from? You know, do a little detective work. Go find, if you don't know, go in your home and find where the hot water heater is. It's a very important appliance in your home that we don't really think about until it doesn't work. That's not a fun thing when your hot water heater doesn't work. Anyway, check out this diagram to get a better idea of solids, liquids, and gases. So I'm just going to highlight a few other smaller articles here. One cool article, it's called "What Makes Things Melt." You're going to talk about 2 things. You're going to talk about what evaporation is and condensation. Okay, so 2 quick little paragraphs about evaporation and condensation. Another quick one is on hot air balloons. You're going to learn about when they were invented and where. I had no idea they were invented in France. I think that's really cool. So you'll read about that, and you'll also read about the science behind it. How do they actually work? Why do hot air balloons float off of the ground? Is there a reason behind it? You will learn about that in this short little article. And then you're going to read an article about a really smart individual. His name is George Washington Carver. It's a really short article. If you want to learn more about him, Google him, look him up on BrainPop. He was a famous chemist and invented a whole bunch of stuff that we use today, including bleach, shampoo, shaving cream, and peanut butter, among the things he's invented. So, short little article there, but if you're curious about inventions, I would highly recommend Googling him and see if you could find anything else about George Washington Carver. Why does he have the name George Washington? That could be something you could research on your own. And then this issue of the Studies Weekly has 3 experiments that you can do besides that mini lab in the first article. So really actually 4. So the 3 of them, are all items you could do at home. Just take a look at all of them, and if you can try to do one, that'd be super cool. Try to do all of them. Again, you don't really need anything earth-shattering, I guess, because all the things that that are needed, you probably have lying around your house. So take a look at those experiments, and what I'd really like is if you try one, take some pictures of it, and if you want to email me those pictures and your observations are what you saw and what happened, that would be super cool. Studies Weekly. Now let's talk about what you must do. Okay, you're going to have 2 days to get this done. Shouldn't take you 2 days, but I want to give you 2 days to get the crossword puzzle and the other piece done, because what I'm really hoping for you to do is do some of those experiments. This is your time to use all the materials at your house, roll up your sleeves a little bit, and get active, okay, with your learning. Okay, it's hard to do that in school sometimes at your age because we just don't have the time or all of the materials ready just like that. So that's why I'm giving you 2 days. It doesn't seem like a lot, but again, this is all new for us. You've never had school at home in this capacity, so that's why I want to just keep things simple. So here's what is expected of you, what you need to do to make sure that you get your work done and that you get a grade for your assignment. Check it out. You have two responsibilities. First, you need to do the crossword puzzle. The crossword puzzle has 6 words. You have the word list on the bottom. Use the clues, and if you have to, go back into the articles and find the answers to each question. Pretty self-explanatory there. Okay, so do the crossword puzzle first. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go down to the picture match. Okay, so you have 9 objects. All right. So for each one, like for number 1, you have it's an old-fashioned pen and it's got ink coming out of the pen. So for number 1, you would just simply write, is ink, is it a solid, a liquid, or a gas? So you just write your answer on the line for each object. When you're done with both of these things, you need to take a picture of it and then email it to me. If you want to do this yourselves through your Gmail account, or if you would rather have mom and dad do it, either way is fine with me. I don't care, but those are your expectations. Okay, so remember you have 2 days to get the picture match and the crossword puzzle finished. Take some time and do some of those mini labs or those experiments and send me pictures of those, okay? We will now move into math, okay? So what you need to do right now is you need to get your math journal because we will be doing a page in the math journal. Grab either a pencil, well, you'll need a pencil for the math journal, but grab either a pencil and scratch paper or your whiteboard that I sent home and a marker, okay? So why don't you get those things? And before we start math, we have a word from one of our sponsors here today for today's lesson.
You're getting to be a big boy.
I'm just a kid who's 4. Each day I grow some more. I like exploring. I'm Caillou. So many things to do. Each day is something new. I'll share them with you. I'm Caillou. My world is turning, changing each day. With mommy and daddy, I'm finding my way. Growing up is not so tough, except when I've had enough. But there's lots of fun stuff. I'm Caillou. Caillou, Caillou, I'm Caillou. That's me.
Man, nothing like a little Caillou workout on a Monday. Oh, now I got the blood flowing again. Now I can teach this math lesson. So we want to thank all of the sponsors that we have for the Nugget Distance Learning Network programming, including the good folks at Caillou. So thank you very much. So I hope you have those math items ready because we're going to do some brand new math stuff. So please pay attention. Here we go. So before I start my math lesson, when I do a video, we'll do something kind of fun to start. Some of you that were in my win group toward the end, I would ask you some random trivia type questions, and then you'd have to take a guess on the answer. And I also used them, remember, for my question of the day. Everybody got to participate with that. So here, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to, write this number off to the side or just have it in your head. This is just for fun. So my question today, first of all, is in minutes, what is the average time a person spends taking a shower? Okay, so kind of think about how long it takes people to shower. I know some people take really short showers. Some people would live in the shower if they could. So you take a guess what you think the average time in minutes, the average length of a shower would be. Okay, so for math today, the key word that we need to get in our head is operations. Say that word, please. Operations. Say it. Okay? No, we're not talking about the board game. Okay? And we're certainly not talking about what surgeons perform. Okay, I am by no means an expert in that. I barely know how to put chapstick on my lips, let alone do some major operation. That's why I'm in this classroom here. So anyway, operations. And when we're talking about math, when we talk about operations, we're talking about the four basic ways we can take numbers and do something with them to change them. The operations that you learned when you were younger. Okay, we have addition. Okay, and with addition we have subtraction. All right, and based on where I'm going, you probably can figure out the last two. Okay, we've spent a lot of time with multiplication, and the last one would be division. Okay, and the thing with operations, addition and subtraction kind of go hand in hand, right? And multiplication and division, they also go hand in hand. So when we talk about operations in math, for today, we're talking about the four main ways to take numbers and to solve a problem. All right, so now that we have operations established, we have our four main ones: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. The new concept that we're going to talk about today is the order of operations. Okay, now the word order, unless you were born yesterday, you've probably heard that word. That word can be used in many different facets or many different ways. One, like if you go to Dairy Queen and you go up to the window, "Hi, and welcome to Dairy Queen. How may I help you?" And you say, "Yeah, hi, I'd like to order a peanut butter cup Blizzard, please, and a Diet Coke." Okay, you are telling the person you're ordering your food, you're telling them what you want. Okay, you might have a group of people that are standing around, and the photographer wants to take a picture, but before they group you or tell you where to go, the photographer might say, "All right, I need you to order up in the line from tallest to shortest. You need to line up in order." All right. It can also mean in a courtroom, for example. You're sitting in a courtroom and the judge is at the front of the courtroom and he or she wants to get the attention of the people in the crowd, and they get their little gavel. That's what their little hammer's called. It's called a gavel. They go, "Chin, chin, chin, order in the court. I say order in the court." There we have some definitions of the word order. Okay, but back to math. You might have a number sentence that has an addition problem and then a multiplication problem in the same number sentence. So which one do you do first? Does it really matter? Yes, it does matter. Okay, and I'm going to show you some of those items or those types of problems tomorrow. But the big thing I'm going to talk to you today is when you have a math problem that has parentheses. Okay, say parentheses. Parentheses. Okay, what are parentheses? So let's say I just have the word Larry. Let's use Larry. Okay. Here's the word Larry. Here's Larry's name. Okay. Now, if I put Larry in parentheses, I'm going to put these kind of little marks that kind of look like, I don't know, they look like curved C's, or crescent moons. There we go. Crescent moons, kind of. Okay. However you want to call it, but these little curved markings that go around an object or a name, I'll draw them again, parentheses. So we have one here, and then we have one here, okay? So those are called parentheses. So how does this relate to math? Parentheses, order of operations, what does this all have to do with math, okay? Let's say we have a problem like this, okay? And you've done problems like this before. Let's say we had 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 10, okay? When we read a book, right? When we read anything, we read from left to right. Okay, when I read, I would read this order of operations. I don't go operations of order or try to read the entire words backwards. Snoita orepo fo red row. No, we read from left to right. We typically do math problems from left to right. So if I'm using my number skills here, my addition skills, 2 plus 3, that's 5, plus 2 more, that's 7, 7 plus 10, that's 17, okay? And that's typically how we do a math problem. We typically go from left to right unless we can find groups of 10 or some other easy strategy to come to our answer, okay? Let's say we have a problem like this, okay? This is going to seem kind of crazy, kind of funky, but bear with me. Check it out, it's already on the board. Wow, that's incredible. So I have 5 plus 3 plus 3. When we have a problem with parentheses in it, no matter where that problem is, it could be at the beginning, it could be at the end of the problem, we must start with the problem in parentheses first. Okay? Just get that in your head. If you see parentheses in a number sentence, you must start with the problem in parentheses first. So in this case, you're going to do 3 plus 3. Okay? 3 plus 3, pretty simple. You should know that. That is 6. And what I like to do, if there's something I don't need anymore, I cross it out or get rid of it. I'm going to get rid of the 3 plus 3. I don't need it. I'm going to cross that out and put 6. Okay? It's not any different than when you eat a banana. You take the peel off the banana, you eat the banana, you throw the peel in the garbage. Okay? This is garbage. I don't need the 3 plus 3. I know that is 6. So now I'm going to take the 5 plus 6, and my answer is 11. Okay? That's easy. So easy. Okay? I want you to get your scratch paper out or your whiteboard, and we're going to do a few of these problems together and just talk them through, okay? So let's say we have something like this. Let's say we have 12 takeaway, and then in parentheses, okay, 12 takeaway. In parentheses, I have 5 times 2, okay? So write that down. We have 12 minus 5 times 2. If Jovi were in class, I'd say, Jovi, what would we do first? And I know what she would say. She would just kind of look like this. We need to do 5 times 2 first. And I would say, really? And then I'd call on Seth Payette, and he would say, well, yeah, because you said, Mr. Lofgren, to always start with the problems in parentheses first. Well, I can't argue with that. I did say that. So we're going to start with 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Remember, get rid of the stuff we don't need. We don't need the 5 times 2. That's garbage. Now get rid of it. That is 10. Now we do this subtraction problem, 12 minus 10. Okay? Do that in your head if you are able to do that. Should know that. 12 minus 10 is 2. So our final answer would be 2. Okay? Take your eraser. We're going to do another couple of problems. Order of operations. Pretty simple. Let's say we had this. Let's go up a little more of a challenge. Let's say we have right here. Let's say we started at the beginning. If I have 5 plus 3 times 8. Okay? 5 plus 3 times 8. What do we do first? We do the problems in parentheses. You are right. So I'm going to take 5 plus 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. Cross out what we don't need. Now I have 8 times 8. 8 times 8 fell on the floor and I picked, whoa, there it is. I picked it up and I got 63? No, 64. Okay. Let's do another one. We'll do a couple more. All right. I think you guys are getting the hang of it here. All right. Let's say we have 13 minus, and then I have another problem with parentheses. Let's say I have 6 times 1. Okay? Super easy. This is ridiculous. Okay? I have 13 minus 6 times 1. I will do the problem in parentheses first. 6 times 1, that's super easy. That is 6. I'm going to cross this out. Now I'm going to do 13 minus 6. 13 minus 6 is 7. Okay? Okay, now I'm going to do one write one on the board here, and you're going to do this problem on your own. Okay, let's say I'm just looking in my book to give you some examples. Let's say we had 50 minus, in parentheses, I have 6 times 5. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute right now to work this problem out. Okay, I'll be right back. So again, you start with your problem in parentheses, do your 6 times 5, find that answer, and then you're going to take 50 minus whatever that answer is. And then that's your final answer. 6 times 5 is 30. 50 minus 30 equals 20. Piece of rhubarb? Asparagus? No, piece of cake, right? That's an idiom. Remember we learned about idioms? Okay, last one. We'll do one more. And then I'm hoping that today that you can maybe do some more on your own. Just kind of play around with it. Have a set of 3 numbers and put parentheses around 2 of them and see if you can come up with the correct responses. Last one. This one's going to be a little tricky. Let's say we had 46. Okay, got that? 46 plus, okay, 46 plus 12 minus 2. Okay, 46 plus 12 minus 2. I'm going to get my face and my body out of the way. Remember what we do first. We do the problem in parentheses first, and then we do the rest of the problem. Let's talk this through if you haven't done it already. 12 minus 2, that's super simple. That is 10. And now we need to look at my operation here. We're going to add. Remember, we'd always do the problems in parentheses first. 46 plus 10, that would equal 56. And ladies and gentlemen, you now know that when you have a number sentence of any kind, you always do the problems in parentheses first. Got it? Awesome. Perfect. Okay, so now you know what order of operations is all about. And I'm going to touch base on this the next couple of days after that, so don't worry about it if this still seems kind of new to you. You have some math boxes to do on page 202. There are 6 of them. I'm going to go through them, so just pay attention. I'll give you a few pointers, a few tips for you. Number 1, just have to read that question very carefully and read the clues. Number 2, I'm going to come back to that and explain that one in a minute. I'm going to do an example problem on the board to help you with number 2. Number 3, we've played the salute game before, so you're just finding the missing factors. Think like in that first example, 2 times what number equals 14. That should be pretty simple. Number 4, target number. Remember, you have these 5 cards, and you have to come up with number sentences that equal 16. Okay? You can only use each card one time. So there's 4 lines on the bottom. Try to think of 4 different ways you could add, subtract, multiply, divide any of those cards or numbers to get 16. Number 5, you're finding perimeter. Perimeter, again, means the distance around an object. So fill in the missing lengths first and then add those numbers to get the perimeter. And then number 6, that's an easy problem. You have to know what 6 times 7 is first to fill in the fact triangle, and then on the right side, write the 4 facts down that belong in that fact family. But now I'm just going to go back to number 2. Check this example problem I will do for you so you know what to do on problem number 2. Check it out. Okay, I'm back. So in order to do number 2, we have to review what area is. I just talked about perimeter. Perimeter is when we have an object and we find the distance around an object. Remember doing this? We did P, right? And then A. So the perimeter of this rectangle, let's say it's someone's garden. Let's say Larry has his garden. Yeah, I got this new garden. I got to build a fence around the garden here then. He's going to take all these numbers and add them. Okay, well, 10 plus 10, that's super easy. That's 20. 3 plus 3, that's 6. 20 plus 6 equals 26. So the perimeter would be 26 feet. He would need to have at least 26 feet worth of fencing to go around his garden. But now Larry needs to add soil to his garden because it's on a bed of rocks. Let's just say it's rocks or whatever. Yeah, you're gonna need some dirt here, Larry. Oh yeah, I better measure the area of that garden to figure out how much of that dirt they gotta haul in here for the garden. So how do we do that? All we're going to take is we're going to take these two sides of the rectangle and multiply them. The length times the width. Okay. This could be the length, this could be the width, or this could be the length, this could be the width, okay? However you want to do it. But all we're going to do is we're going to take these two numbers that touch each other, just these two, and we're going to multiply them. I always like to put a multiplication symbol in the corner because I just go from left to right. 3 times 10, okay? 3 times 10, that is so stinking easy. 3 times 10, that is 30 feet, and then we're going to put this little 2 there. Remember, that means squared. That means you could take a square foot, that's a square, and each side of it is 1 foot, and you could fit 30 of those inside of that object. That's why it's called 30 square feet, okay? I think, you should remember this. It's been a long time, but a little quick mini lesson. So for number 2, you're going to have an object that looks like this, okay? It says find the area of this shape, divide it into rectangles to find the area. Okay, so what you want to do is you're going to split this into 2 parts, all right? You can kind of see like right here, if I drew a line right there, I would have a rectangle here, and then I would have one here. So I'm going to do that, okay? So I'm going to draw a line right here, and before I do anything else, I want to find the area of that rectangle only, okay? How do I find the area? Remember, I'm going to multiply. I'm going to multiply the length times the width. 3 times 4 equals 12. So 12 inches squared here. Okay. Now I need the big rectangle. Okay. And look at that. They're all 10 inches. Okay. So I'm just going to take 10 times 10. 10 times 10. Again, super easy. Unless you were born yesterday, then it's going to be hard. 10 times 10, that equals 100 square inches, okay? But I need to know the entire area of the entire object. So what am I going to do with this 100 and this 12? Now, if I ask that question, I know Kendra Hill in the back, she'd raise her hand, and when she raises her hand, it's always like this, okay? Always like this. I would say, yes, Kendra, what would we do? We would take 112 and add them. You are right. We will take 100 plus 12 and add them. 100 plus 12 equals bum-ba-da-bum-bum, 112. And because it's area, we would say inches squared. Okay? If this all seemed like I was talking Chinese, then just rewind the video and play it again. Okay? You can also reach out to me if you have questions about number 2. So that's kind of a tricky one, and we really haven't done many of those types of problems. So I wanted to do an example one first before I cut you loose. Okay? So the math boxes on 202, when you are finished with them, take a picture and then email that to me. If you want to do that yourselves, great. If you'd rather have mom or dad do that, that's fine too. Either way, that'll be fine. So good luck with those math boxes.
Yep, so now you know how to do order of operations. You're going to do really well on those math boxes, I tell you, and it's going to be a great Monday. I guarantee it. Now, to find out the answer to that trivia question, what is the average time a person spends taking a shower in minutes? You'll have to wait till the very end of the video here coming up momentarily. So, continue working hard at home, reading those AR books, taking quizzes. Feel free to get a hold of me. You can email me if you want to using your Google account. Have fun fooling around with that. And look for another video too. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything, okay? Until I see you again. And once again, thank you to our fine sponsors, the fine folks over at Caillou for sponsoring our TV show today. Have a great day. See ya.